Hello everybody, and welcome back to the Prince of Persia 2008 walkthrough. This time it's time for us to head into the Hunter's Lair and take him down once and for all. But first, to get to him, we have to go through a mass string of power plates, which is quite epic, don't get me wrong, but these are also some of the most difficult instances of power plate usage that you are going to find in the game. I mean, it's good that it does provide some challenge, but it is slightly even more automated than elsewhere in the game. It does, however, bring kind of a nice build-up to the fight that we're about to have. And these are basically proper boss fights against our corrupted bosses. They're exactly in the same vein as standard combat, but they are a lot longer because the corrupted have a lot more health and are just generally a lot more aggressive in their attack patterns. Or at least they're meant to be. Sometimes they're just very nice to you, but that's not always the case.
Princess Priestess. Princess Priestess. Huh.
But looky here.
You still have a chance.
Here's the Hunter. Yeah, he ain't leaving. At all. And now he is going to start using, I believe, all of the optional QuickTime events that he can throw at us. Essentially, there is one which requires you to use Elika, there's one which requires you to dodge out the way, there is another that requires you to use the glove, and then there's the one which you saw previously, which is a Mashy X one. Now, once you have taken away half of his health, he will do this and destroy the floor beneath our feet. And continue the fight with us. Okay, it's not quite half of his health. It's more like 65%-ish. Now, whenever you end up with that QuickTime event where you're on the floor, that is a point where, if you fail it, Elika will come in to save you. If Elika has to come in to save you, then the enemy will regain some of its health. Obviously that can get particularly frustrating if you're in a long fight and you just keep failing the QuickTime events, because some of them are not the easiest things in the world to meet. The timing is ever so slightly odd sometimes. It doesn't seem particularly consistent. Like, it seems to get worse come the epilogue. But the QuickTime events right now, after you kind of do get used to them, you should be okay. But the corrupted do like to throw a lot of them at you when you fight their harder incarnations. Also, I really like the fact that the Hunter has got, like, at least one extra knife on him, but he just doesn't use it. It's just there kind of for window decoration. It's a very small detail, but it's just quite cool. And now we have to do a little bit more platforming. This is generally how these things end up playing out, is that you fight the corrupted for a little bit, they run away / take you to a new area, and then you have to platform your way to reach them again. It's maybe a little bit cheap, in that it kind of, all it does is extend the boss fight, but it does make it a little bit more climactic.
Run out of places to hide.
Now obviously don't go into the black goo. That's a bad thing to do. And although it is possible to kind of back the hunter up to it, you kind of want to try and keep your fighting in the centre as much as possible, especially when you get to the likes of the alchemist later on, because he just loves the corruption goop. Okay, yeah, I was kind of right. You don't want to take him to the edge because you don't really get any extra damage off of it. Normally you do. It's the walls. But here, just no. Now, I will say that kind of these particular fights are definitely the hardest that you have to do in the game. I mean, it makes sense. They are the final boss forms of these guys. So it's nice that they are more of a challenge than they are elsewhere. I'd also say that they are generally some of the easier things to get the achievements on, because you're fighting them for a lot longer, and that just works. And so the hunter is being healed, and yeah, he can go boom.
We'd better get out of here.
And for that noble deed, we get 25 light seeds, which is pretty awesome. And that has thankfully pushed us over the edge of getting a new power. So I'm pretty sure that once we make it out of here alive, obviously assuming that we do make it out of here alive,
Can we find some more light seeds?
that's what I believe we're going to go and do. Now, to argue that the escape sequences are slightly more difficult than the original entering the lairs, it's largely because they are a little bit faster pace than when you enter. So there's a bit more trepidation when you're doing that, whereas now it's get the hell out of there before you die. But that is the hunter done and dusted. Take that, you evil giss.
Hey, don't go deserting me. Elika. You had me worried there.
It was the healing. The hunter's soul.
He's gone now, hasn't he?
Yes.
You sure? Hello in there. You're not gonna start leaping around, yowling, are you? Not that that would be a bad thing, in the right circumstances.
There's a time and a place, Prince.
All right.
There is a time and a place.
The hunter wanted to hunt, he got what he wanted.
So, now you believe in destiny?
There's no god or stars controlling me, Princess. I go where I want. Where should we go next?
Oh, the irony.
Get away from it all. Go on adventures.
Now,
they
you
say.
probably saw the prince's kind of
Oh, sorry.
jacket,
Forgot you
cape
were there.
thing clipping through his body. yeah, that's gonna get slightly worse. I believe after we finish the concubine, you're gonna get a particularly funny cutscene thanks to the wonderful clipping. Probably one of the worst things in terms of glitches is that some things kind of flow through body parts and get stuck.
This will allow us to reach
But
fertile ground in the City of Light and the Vale.
now we are going to get the Breath of Ormazd, which is one of my favourite powers in the game.
Are you ready?
Because it's just insane.
Did corruption stains come out?
So we run up to our lovely green plate, and we run really fast up walls. And the reason I say it's the most involving of all of the power plates is because you are controlling the prince every step of the way. So you're not just kind of pressing a single button and then hoping that you get to do some platforming afterwards. You're actually controlling yourself during that, and it's it's nicer to look at than the flying, and just less boring, so I really like the Breath of Ormazd. And it leads to some really great set pieces. And now we get more of the dream.
All you must do is ask.
The asking is yours.
You know what it is that I ask.
If you would have your wish, then give me mine.
So, the truth is out.
You were dead.
Yes.
Yes?
I was. I'm not now, so why does it matter? I was trying to reach the fertile grounds to see if...
And you died?
Yes. The fertile grounds had failed even before my father split the tree.
Oh, well, that's all right then.
The tree didn't matter. My father had already broken the lock that held Ahriman. He broke it to bring me back. He'd never have done this. It was the grief. He was
a father.
I just want to fix this, please. We can't let Ahriman escape.
It's not your fault. It's Ahriman's. You hear that, Ahriman? We're going to fix this. You're not getting out. That's how you got your powers.
Yeah,
Your father brought
this
you
makes sense of
Still want this magic? All you have to do
everything
is
about
die,
Alika.
danger the world, and then you too can do these things.
So, this is what I was kind of hinting at every now and again.
It will. We just need to heal more of them.
So, Alika's known about this since it happened,
Getting weaker.
obviously.
healed all these fertile
But
grounds?
she's kind of kept it from the prince, which, I mean,
Until all the
partly
fertile grounds are healed, until
it's a factoid that doesn't really change things, so kind of bringing it up doesn't really matter.
the city of the Ura. The people were once
But
across many lands,
still,
many cities. This was their capital.
It makes things really
How about
interesting,
we just stand here for a while?
because it sort of changes the dynamic a little bit. Which gets much more important later on. Especially much more important later on, because it's going to kind of affect us quite dramatically. But now, the awesome thing of having the Breath of Ormazd is that we get to do more stuff in the Vale. It means that we actually get to be able to deal with all of the fertile grounds in the Vale. But it also means that we get to get the final light seeds in this first area. Which, surprisingly enough, we actually get to do in every single fertile ground. Which wasn't something that I was expecting to be able to do. Now, the green power plate is rather well hidden. Because it's just here and all you can see is a slight green glow. Which you may not notice. So it's rather cheekily hidden. But actually getting to use it is great fun.
Watch for the next plate!
Also because some of the dialogue that the prince has during these segments is just rather amusing.
Armin doesn't stand a chance.
Because I'm pretty sure one of them is like, this is crazy, this is crazy, this is crazy!
For Ormazd.
And I just really like it when he says that. It's just rather bemusing. And I believe that makes it 45 out of 45 in this area. Oh yes! But now it is time for us to head to our first main big level of the Vale. Because our next target, in the grand scheme of things, is the Alchemist. Who has some rather interesting levels. I mean, I think the first one that we have to face is another of the puzzle type that we just had with the windmills. But yeah, I'm pretty sure the construction yard has a puzzle in it. It's another crank puzzle. I mean, quite a lot of the puzzles are crank-based. But this one is certainly different to the one we faced in the windmills.
When you were out there traveling, what's the most incredible thing you saw?
I'd like to know this too.
Lots of things.
Tell me one.
What do you want to hear?
Something that took your breath away.
Mountain ice. It shines like diamonds. I've seen walls of it as tall as buildings, deep blue and blinding white. If you touch it, it burns. It's cold, but it turns to fire in your hand for just a moment. Then it's gone. Diamonds to water.
And with that really poetic note, it's time to head to the construction yard. Yay!